Hi friends, welcome back to our continuation of STEM enrichment. When we were last together, we finished our conversation regarding the properties or characteristics of the monster trucks that we were exploring. And the two properties or characteristics that we were focused on were the color and the texture of those monster trucks. And we said that color was one way that we could describe the way something looks. Texture, on the other hand, was one way that we could describe the way something feels when we touch it with our skin. We said that the monster trucks having those properties of color and texture were just two ways that we could describe those trucks. We also said that those trucks were an example of something called matter. And then we discussed how matter is anything that takes up space and that's made up of stuff. And we called that stuff that makes up something mass. So anything that takes up space and has mass is matter. So what we're going to do before we move on to our next activity is we are going to look at different objects and see if those things are examples of matter or if you don't think that those things are examples of matter. Along with these things, there will be a worksheet for you to fill out and give your opinion. Is this thing matter or is it not matter? Once you finish that worksheet, we'll come back together for a conversation about what actually is matter and what is not. Take a look at this image. Here we have a glass of water, a coin, and a bag filled with air. Out of these three objects, my water, my coin, and my air, which do you think is matter? Can only one of these things be matter? Can two be matter? Can they all be matter? In this activity, you will see an assignment at the bottom. This assignment has this same picture, except your water, coin, and air are labeled. Put a check next to which of these three objects you think is matter. Remember, you are allowed to check off more than one object. Once you've finished that, come back to this video and pick up right after this picture. Believe it or not, all three of those different objects are examples of matter. My quarter, my glass of water, and my bag of air are all matter. But they're all different types of matter. But let's talk about this. My quarter takes up space on the table. We saw that in the picture. It's also made up of stuff, so it has mass. My water takes up space in my glass, and it's made up of mass as well. Now, the stuff that makes up my quarter is different than the stuff that makes up my water. And that's okay, because the stuff that makes up my air is different than the stuff that makes up both my quarter and my water. And believe it or not, this air is taking up space in the bag. And I can tell that because if I try and squeeze the bag, I can't. that air is in my way. So it's taking up space that is in that bag.